Hello, my loves. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome into this video for the full moon in Aries. So for those of you who are new, hello and welcome in. It's great to have you here. If you want to learn more about how to get the most out of these readings, the kind of energies I call in, the kinds of ways that I encourage you to engage with this material and your spiritual support team that we work with to get guidance for these phases and to learn more about ourselves, you can check out my tutorial video on how to get the most out of these videos. It's like a welcome video. It covers the things that I say over and over again and gets you caught up to speed with how to get the most out of what I'm offering. It's totally not necessary, but it is an option available to you if that feels good and aligned. So to those who are not new, hello and welcome back in. Thank you guys so much for being here. I truly appreciate having you here. It is really fun to be able to offer this service as I'm learning more and diving deeper into this amazing modality of astrology, and the combination of it with the cards is just really super fun. And so I've been enjoying the guidance that's coming through and benefiting from it. And I know you guys have been commenting that you have as well. And it really means a lot to me. So just taking this moment, as I do every video, to connect with you and to let you know how much I appreciate you being here and how much of an honor it is to be able to be of service to you in this way. So let's talk about full moon energy. The cycle of a full moon is always going to give us the opportunity to celebrate. It's this pinnacle moment where all of the energy of a certain archetype is being celebrated, honored. It's at the fullest of its potential. So every time there's a full moon, it's always going to be in the opposite sign of where the sun is in. So each sign of the zodiac has an opposite. And the opposite of Libra, which is the solar season we're in, if you haven't watched my solar season Libra readings, which gives you more information about the Libra archetype and clues you in to where this energy shows up in your life, and of course gives you guidance to how to navigate this solar season, check those out. So the opposite of Libra is the energy of Aries. So the moon was new in Aries 6 months ago. And that's going to become more relevant. The 6-month period between phases, new and full, is going to be relevant next month because we have an eclipse. And eclipse energies typically last those entire 6 months, whereas the energy of the traditional moon cycles only lasts for about 28 days. So you'll see here that we're having this full moon in Aries, which is the opposite of Libra, on October 9th, and it's going to be happening at 16:55 Eastern time. And our energies here are going to be relevant until November 8th, which is when the full moon in Taurus happens, and that will be an eclipse. So that will be really referencing the last 6 months. But the full moon energy here, let's get back to that, is a celebration. The archetype of Aries is the energy of the beginning of the zodiac. It's this spark vibration. It's what gets everything into motion, into action. And it's the energy of passion. So we are going to be diving into where emotionally in your life there is a celebration of passion, and where energetically in your life, like where specifically is that celebration happening in your life. So how does it relate to the emotions, this celebration of passion, and where does it relate to you? So the two things that you're going to be watching for in these readings, you're going to be watching for two different alignments. Don't worry if you're not on the right video right now. I'm going to tell you how to find which videos to watch, and then you can navigate to the right video when it's time, when you're done watching this introduction. It's the same for everybody, okay? So the first reading that you're going to want to tune into is the advice for where the moon was when you were born. So you are going to need your birth chart. So on your birth chart, you're going to be looking for this symbol, and you're going to be looking for the astrological sign, the zodiac sign, that this symbol is in. If you do not know how to access your birth information, how to read a birth chart. I created a tutorial video to help navigate you through that system. You can go ahead and watch that tutorial video. Ask me questions at the end if you do not understand enough to guide yourself to the right videos, and I will be happy to explain. So you're going to want to know where the moon was when you were born, and you're going to want to watch the advice that's relevant for where the moon was when you were born. The other alignment you're going to watch for is where this full moon is happening in your life. To know where this full moon is happening in your life, you're going to look for 16 degrees, 33 minutes of Aries, and you're going to find which house that occurs for you. And then you'll watch that relevant advice. Again, if you don't understand what that means, that tutorial video will cover how to find out which house this is in for you. Now, I've created a new tutorial video to show you how to use the whole house system. I love the whole house system. I think it's very easy to explain, especially for people who are very new to astrology, and it makes it a lot easier to understand. So essentially, if you already know your rising sign, if you're using the whole house system, you can find out which house Aries is in by going through the zodiac from your ascending sign all the way until you find Aries. So my ascending sign is Virgo. Okay, so that would be the first house. The next sign in the zodiac is Libra, second house. Third house would be Scorpio. Fourth would be Sagittarius. Fifth would be Capricorn. Sixth would be Aquarius. Seventh would be Pisces. Eighth would be Aries. Okay, so you have to know the order of the zodiac and you have to know your ascending sign to be able to utilize the whole house system to find out which house this is in for you. You can also utilize any other house system and just watch the advice that's relevant for the house system that you're watching. And if all of that went over your head, watch the tutorial video. It'll explain, okay? I don't want to leave you guys in the dust here, but I have been leaving little breadcrumbs and giving you videos that you can watch and access to help you navigate these understandings, these awarenesses, these readings. So we are going to be getting guidance from the Goddess Power Oracle by Collette Reid. And before we dive into the individual readings, I just want to let you guys know that there's many ways you can support me as I support you, as we support each other. You can join my chakra meditation service. It's on WhatsApp. It's only $14.40 a month. You can sign up at devotedandvulnerable.com/services, which is also where you will find my new chart reading services that I'm going to be offering. I'm very excited to roll out this service, and I'm also very nervous about it. I'm even having trouble talking about it because it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I finally feel ready, and I'm really excited to dive into your chart with you. If you want to learn more about the uniqueness of you, the geometry of you, beyond what I offer in these free readings. And of course, you can always comment on the videos. That helps me with the algorithms and gets me out to more people. And you can always share this with people. And there's always the option to donate if you feel inspired to do that at paypal.me/devotedvulnerable. Link is in the description. Let's get to your individual readings. So this part of the video is for you if the moon was in Taurus when you were born, and or if 16 degrees 33 minutes of Aries is in your second house. So we are going to draw the card from the Goddess Power Oracle. If you haven't already, close your eyes, taken a few deep breaths, set a sacred space for yourself, pause this video, take as much time as you need to do that, and call in your support team. Just asking that you hear the advice that's most supportive for you and your highest good and the highest good of all, or however you want to phrase that. Setting that intention now as we pull this card for you. I got two cards here, so we're just going to find out which one is which. Okay. Okay. So you got Iris and communication. Iris and communication. The number is 23, so you may see this number throughout this lunar phase to validate your message here. So I'm going to read from the deck and then I'm going to read from the deck and then I'll dive into how this relates to either the moon or the house alignment. Clarity in communication is called for, as your words will have great impact on others right now. It's a wonderful time to start writing that book, telling new stories, and sharing your experience, strength, and hope with others. You have everyone's ear, so choose your message wisely. Others will also desire positive and fruitful communication with you. So get ready for some amazing new opportunities to come from these discussions. Remember just to stay open and be clear about expressing your deepest desires, always speaking with integrity, kindness, and respect for yourself and others. The Greek goddess messenger, Iris, is thrilled to help your words take flight. Communication improves in all your relationships when she comes to visit. Most important, however, Iris reminds you of the communication you have with the universe. Yeah. You are in a mutual dialogue, and now is the time to pay attention to the signs and omens in your life. Trust this important yet subtle communication. It will never lead you astray when you listen and act accordingly. Yeah. Okay. So before I dive in, there are rainbows coming from her eyes. So rainbows might also be a sign for you this lunar phase. And again, that number 23. And anything else that resonated for you. As I always invite you, whatever is coming through, like she said, something's going to take flight. So maybe the energy of things taking flight is going to be a message for you and symbol for you. There's so many messages and symbols in the ways our support team can communicate with us. We just have to be open to hearing it. So I'm going to dive into how this relates to your emotions and the celebration thereof. And then we'll dive into the second house. So if you're here for the second house, just scroll ahead to that part of the reading. So the moon was in Taurus when you were born. Let's quickly cover what that means. You can scroll through this explanation if you already have a sense of that. So Taurus is the energy of the bull, the archetype of that. It's an earth sign and it's a fixed earth sign, which means it's stubborn and stable. It represents the fullness of spring, the fixedness of spring. It's a very loyal, earthy, domestic, determined, and dependable energy. And this is how your emotions like to express themselves. You're very much a emotionally fixed person. You're very much focused on the earth, and your heart is connected to the earth vibration. And if you don't feel that this is resonant for you, I invite you this lunar phase and all lunar phases to explore deeper how this resonates with you. So let's talk about Iris and communication. The full moon, as we talked about at the beginning, is a celebration. And in Aries, we're celebrating the spark of something. So you're celebrating the spark that's behind your words right now. Okay? It's like almost like you're going to throw yourself your own book writing party or your own speaking engagement, like you're going to be speaking at an event. There's something going on here where you are being invited to speak. And that's what you're being invited to celebrate. You're going to be invited to celebrate the power of your words, but not just the power of your words, because we are talking about your moon alignment here. So we're talking about the power of your words when they're aligned with your heart. Yeah. When you are speaking from your heart. This is what we are celebrating you for, this lunar phase, okay? This is what the Aries full moon wants to highlight for you. Your passion, your heart. When you speak it, magic is happening for you, especially right now. So lean into that and look at where this is happening in your life, because that's where you need to speak, okay? So whatever house it's in, that is going to tell you where you need to be speaking up, okay? This is part of what's interesting about how these readings are unfolding, how I'm breaking them up like this, because I don't know your individual moon and house alignments. So I can't make the interpretation for you. I can't give you how I would interpret it because I don't know, right? Moon in Taurus, I don't know, like there could be 12 moon in Tauruses watching this and each one could have a different house, okay, for Aries. So what I'm saying is that it's up to you. to get this information. And I think that's fun. I think that that's actually part of what I'm intending with these readings, is to activate the own knowing within you. So as you're listening to the house alignment, there's going to be another goddess coming through. So there's an additional message here for you. And it's going to tell you where in your life that message is relevant. So where are you communicating the depth of your emotions? Wherever in your life you're communicating that, wherever this moon alignment is hitting whatever house that's hitting for you, that is going to be where you want to communicate your heart. Okay. I'm very excited for you for this communication, for the things that you're being invited to celebrate. You're being invited to speak. You're being invited to celebrate your voice. And I love this for you, especially because I feel like the Taurus energy is very much kind of internalized. There's a lot of like innerness to the moon in Taurus. And now that you're being invited to step up and speak out and do so from your heart, especially about the Taurus related things, especially about the things in your heart when it comes to the earth, when it comes to being domestic, when it comes to being focused on the home, when it comes to being dependable and determined and loyal to your tribe. That is what you're being invited, the kinds of things you're being invited to speak about. And then again, of course, the house is going to tell you where in your life this communication is most empowered. It doesn't mean you can't communicate your heart in all other aspects of your life, because this is your emotions. They cover everything. But specifically for this moon phase, you're going to want to focus at least on that one area of your life and or apply it everywhere. Okay? Not or. And apply it everywhere if that feels good. But you definitely should apply it to the one house and then anywhere else after that. Okay, Moon in Taurus? Thank you so much for being here. I have so much love and appreciation for you, and I'm celebrating you speaking your hearts and your passion fearlessly. As always, namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors the universal light within you. Namaste. So this full moon in 16 degrees, 33 minutes of Aries is happening in your second house. So where in your life this second house represents is your value system, okay? So the second house is the house of value. It has to deal with your possessions, your finances, your own sense of self-worth, your own value system, what you deem as moral behavior versus immoral behavior, the exchange of finances, the exchange of goods, the exchange of things of value, and materials, the materials that you're using, the tools that you have to create things in your life. That is the place in there. This is where you're being invited to focus. And you're being invited to, with this Iris card, in addition to whatever moon advice you got, to bring it into the house of value, you're also being invited to speak about your values. You're being invited to communicate about your self-worth, to really speak about your value system. That's really what's coming through strongly for me. So as we celebrate, we're going to be celebrating our values, your values. You're going to be celebrating your possessions, even if that feels aligned to you. You're going to be celebrating your finances, wherever they are, whether it's a lot or a little. You're going to just be celebrating what you have. And you're going to be talking to people about it. So maybe you're going to be talking to people about how safe you feel with the very little finances that you have, because you have this inner trust in the world and inner awareness. That's just an example, right? Or maybe you've found something that you really find valuable, and you're just going to be speaking about it. You're going to be communicating about what it is that you find valuable about this thing. And you're going to be talking to the world about that. I'm tapping in here to see what other information is coming through. Just remember, you're also speaking into being more material goods and finances and things to exchange, because she's talking about the power of your words. You're celebrating that co-creative power that you have with the universe, that conversation that you're having with the universe. It may be just a celebration of all of the things that you've already called into being with your voice, right? Even just taking stock and celebrating for yourself, with yourself, all of the things that you have said, I'm going to get, and that you now have. This is something in my life that I could focus on a lot more because I've spent a lot of time co-creating my life, a lot of time calling things in, and I really haven't taken time to like stop and be like, wow, look at how far I've come with these streams. Look at how far I've come with my relationship. Look how far I've come with letting go of this thing. You know, like one of the intentions I set at the end of 2019 was to let go of everything holding me back behind from the last decade. Wow, that was a lot of stuff, my friends. That was a lot. And I haven't even stopped to celebrate all of those things that I have left behind from that last decade and the ways that it has come into my life. So the full moon phases are fun. They're here to help us really celebrate the fullness of the things that we've called into being. Like the spark of life, this new spark of new energy is kind of like the things you've sparked into being through your conscious voice. Like this is something I said out loud to the moon phases. So this was something I called into being with my boys. So where in your life have you called things into being? What valuable things that you possess, the self-worth that you have, the situations that you've attracted into your life, what do you value in your life right now that you called into being with your words, and how can you celebrate that? Celebrate that this month, whether it's journaling about it, whether it's talking to a trusted friend about it, whether or not it's sharing with a coworker how this revelation has been for you. Be like, wow, can you believe that 6 months ago I was talking about this promotion and now I have it? Whatever that is for you, right? Celebrate where in your life this communication is hitting is for your values. Either you're calling in more values, and we're calling in things all the time with this conversation that's ongoing with the universe. So you're celebrating that you have this conversation with the universe and that you can call things into being. And you're also celebrating everything that you've already called into being. And then of course you're marrying, you're merging, you're coming up with your own interpretation of how this relates to the moon message that you got. And if you have problems or trouble understanding how to combine the two, reach out to me. I'd be happy to come up with a way to merge those two guidances and advice. Okay, but you're being invited to come up with your own understanding of how this relates in your life, because that's always what I'm guiding you towards. If for those of you who've been with me for a while, you know that, right? I'm always guiding you back to the wise instinctive knowing within you. You got this as much as I do. I'm just here as a guide, and I appreciate that. All right, my beautiful second housers for this full moon. Sending you so much love, and as always, namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors the universal light within you. Namaste.